heroes of our past, the heroes past, in seeking for unity, equity, and justice in Nigeria, can we say that the labels of our heroes past have been met? Can we really say that? Looking at the state of Nigeria as we are today, can we say that since that young lady, Flora Louisa Shaw, on the 8th of January, 1897, in an article in London Times, when she gave us our name, Niger area, named after the Niger area, can we say we have achieved our dream? Can we say that since the amalgamation of the Southern and Northern Protectorates and Lagos Colony to found Nigeria on the 1st of January 1914 by Lord Lugard, the man who later married that Flora Louisa Shaw, can we say we have achieved our nationhood? Can we say, in spite of all the constitutional conferences, the 1922 Clifford Constitution, the 1946 Arthur Richards Constitution, the 1951 Macpherson Constitution, the 1954 Little Constitution, the 1960 Independence Constitution, the 1963 Republican Constitution, the various constitutional conferences, especially that of 1958, the Willings Commission that was set up to take care of the fears of the minorities, the 1979 Obasanjo Constitution, the 1989 IBB's unused Constitution, the 1999 General Abdulsalami Abubakar's Constitution, which was promulgated actually as a schedule attached to Decree number 24 of 1999, when Nigeria held our elections even without a constitution. Can we say we have really attained nationhood? Have we done the labors of our heroes past a great deal of favor? Have all the federal structures set up, the INEC, the Constitution itself, the courts, the Federal Character Commission, police, security agencies, the legislature, executive, judiciary, can we say we have attained nationhood? Is the problem arising from the name given to us by colonialists who midwifed Nigeria the way they wanted it? Can we say it is because Nigeria was actually sold for £865,000 to the British by the Royal Niger Company, which actually controlled the territory of Nigeria? Is that the problem? Is it a problem of inferiority complex? Is it a problem of a name? Is it because of the Western world's spirit of revisionism, when they will want us to see the world through their binoculars, that made them to tell us that the river Niger was discovered by who? By Mungo Park. How can you discover a river where you met the natives, drinking the water, taking bath there? The natives were the ones who actually took you around before you even finally died of mosquitoes. Then you say you discovered that river Niger. That is a kind of narrative we are meant to imbibe. great conquest, Vasco da Gama, William Wilberforce. Have we been able to shake off this stereotype, this toga of imperial control? I went back into history, sir, to look at some of the statements of our heroes past. They are all heroes, mind you. Some of them may have made mistakes, like we all do as human beings. But I can tell you that these heroes fought for our independence. Some of them were in their 20s, most in their 30s, few in their 40s, starting from the great Herbert Macaulay, that many people have not given too much space to whenever they talk about the history of Nigeria. A man to whom Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was just general secretary to his organization. So we must give them kudos. How many of us will remember that Chief Anthony Nahoro moved the motion for Nigeria's independence? At what age? How many of us will remember that people like Dr. Matthew Mbe was already ambassador to the UN at the age of about 25? An age when many of our students are still struggling to do their WAEC exam or pass through a university of a course of 4 years, but which is taking them 8 years. How many? Lord Lugard told us, in building up a country they wanted, not the one we wanted, he said the North and the South are like oil and water. They will never mix. Can we hear that? The North and the South are like oil and water. They will never mix. And we appear inexorably to be wanting to fulfill his prediction. Let me tell you, I believe in one strong Nigerian nation, a country of Dolly Parton's coat of many colors, a country of excellence, a country of about 236 million people, 236,741 people as at 2nd of this month by projection. I believe in one country, but, and this is the biggest but, it will be a country. Let me mimic Chief M.K. Abiola the way he will put it. You see, everybody says we need one country, we need an indivisible country. I agree with you, but under court terms, yes, we need peace, but not peace of the graveyard, not peace of the cemetery. We need peace that is imbued with egalitarianism, so social justice, equity, mutual respect, religious tolerance, and respect for one another. That's the kind of country we need. Not a fractured country where in the name of federalism we are actually operating a unitary system of government with commissioners for finance of the 36 states and FCT moving to Abuja end of every month to go and collect allocations from the federation account under section 162 of the 1999 Constitution. What have we done with our resources? Monoproduct resource, oil, discovered since 1956 at Olobiri. How have we helped ourselves? Why have we not looked at our constitution, which is badly fractured, which does not deliver justice? Because the Constitution is supposed to be the birth certificate of any nation. It shows how we are, who we are, where we are, and what we want to be. Why are we afraid of setting for ourselves a new constitution after subjecting it to a people's referendum, as was done to the Midwest Constitution that birthed on the 10th of August 1963 when it separated from Western region? It has been done in Nigeria, Egypt, Tunisia, Eritrea, Morocco, Iraq, Iran, Singapore. Why are we afraid of a new constitution? It is one of the recommendations I have made here. No matter how you look at our problems, the lack of respect for each other, the religious intolerance, the ethnic intolerance, if we had a guiding document that the people believe in as articles of faith made by themselves for themselves, as Americans did between 14th of May and 17th of September 1787, when they met in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to give themselves, to make themselves a more perfect union. And that conference birthed a new America, because the 50 delegates debated for that period, 5th May to 17th September, and they agreed on certain articles of faith: presidentialism, executive presidentialism. They agreed on the principles or doctrine of separation of powers between the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. A doctrine which in 1448 had already been popularized by the great French philosopher Baron de Montesquieu. They agreed on judicial review. They agreed on a charter of human rights. That constitution, which is actually about 791 words, with about 23 amendments, has survived till date. We need to sit down, SARS and MAS, and discuss our problems and agree on how we should move forward in this country. Pretending that there's unity is like bandaging a gaping wound, a sore that is oozing, that is smelling. You bandage it with white bandage and put perfume so that it smells nice, but the problem remains. The way I gave the example elsewhere when I spoke, I said it's like you want to go to Kaduna from here, or let's say Kano from here. We know you have to pass through Kaduna, Zaria, you get to Kano. But instead of just going there, you hit the road, you reach Gwagwalada, you get to Lokoja, Okene, Okbila, Auchi, Benin, Asaba, Port Harcourt, Calabar. You are not going to Kano, and you will not get there. What do? You reverse, turn your car back, no matter how late, and then you will get to your destination. So, I have read some of those statements Tafawa Balewa worries that since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country, but the people are different in every way, including religion, custom, language, and aspirations. We in the North take it that Nigeria unity is only a British intention for the country they created. They were right to a large extent from what we have been seeing, no matter how we pretend. Here, Chief Jeremiah Obafemi Awolowo, Nigeria is only a geographical expression. He believes that the British not only made it, but also handed it to us in a way that inherent problems were of possible disintegration were built into it. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, if this embryo republic of ours must disintegrate, then in the name of God, let the operation be a short and painless one. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe again, 1959, to Alhaji Ahmadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto. He said, let us forget our differences. Zik to Balewa, let us forget, so to Ahmadu Bello, let us forget our differences. And Ahmadu Bello gave a very poignant answer. He said, no, let us understand our differences. I am a Muslim, a Fulani and a Northerner. You are a Christian, an Igbo, and an Easterner. By understanding our differences, we can build unity in our country. They were all right. Here, retired General Yakubu Gowon, he expressed his own fears as a young, khaki-weary head of state. Says, suffice it to say that putting all considerations to the test, political, economic, as well as social, the basis of unity is not there. He was frustrated during the Civil War, particularly after the failure of the Aburu Conference that was hosted by General Ankara in Ghana. Odumegwu Ojukwu, the second or reverse side of the coin during the Civil War. For unity to be meaningful, it has to be creative, not the unity of Jonah in the way, but the unity of the holy matrimony. The first can only lead to defecation, the second to procreation. So what is this problem of Nigeria summarized? Chino Achebe says it is a problem of leadership. But I want to add also, it is also the problem of followership. Even you as head of your family, if your children and wife don't hold you accountable, you will become a dictator in your home. But Nigerians are the only creatures I have seen, I have read widely, I have traveled widely. I like literature, history, sociology, anthropology. Nigerians are the only creatures on earth. You will continue to pursue them. They will be running. Then you pursue them to a roadblock or to a cul-de-sac in a place they can no longer run through. Rather than turn back to attack the aggressor, the average Nigerian would rather break down the barrier in his front to still run. Whereas even a goat, when you push it to the wall, it will turn around and bite. Then you will know that a goat can bite. So we have so many challenges that all of you know, all of us, nobody is immune to them, even those in power. who now build houses whose fences are taller than the walls of Kirikiri prison. If things are all right, why do we have to go in bulletproof vehicles and live in houses with fences taller than Kirikiri prison? We are imprisonment. We made Nigeria a big prison yard. That's what we have done for ourselves. So both the commoners and the aristocrats, nobody can sleep. Because Peking, where you say mama no go sleep, he too no go sleep. That's what we have done for ourselves. And I warn, let me again warn here today so that all will hear me loud and clear. Let us not always say it is their problem. Maybe Boko Haram attacks in the northeast, and I've been sounding this warning for about 10 years. They say, oh, is it their problem? Oh, is it really? It has spread to northwest, not only to northeast. Many swaths of land have been taken over by bandits in Niger State. They have created fiefdoms, some of them putting flags down, collecting taxes, giving identity cards. It has spread to Edo State now, to the entire southeast. If my warnings had been heeded, which I now want to repeat, I think we will be in a better place. Particularly when you read my history, when I was kidnapped for 21 gruesome days between August 23, 2013 and September 12, 2013. When I came out, I called on the government to declare 7 states of emergency. It's here on Google. Emergency on youth unemployment, emergency on education, emergency on infrastructure. Did they hear? No. The over 600 recommendations of the 2014 National Conference, have they implemented one? No. A conference attended by all Nigerians from all strata of life. 492 of us. The South was led by the man we are celebrating today, the great avatar, the great nationalist, the titan, Chief Edwin Kiagbodo Clark, who led us not only during the 2005 Obasanjo's National Political Conference, and I was there, I was the spokesperson for the South delegates, not only during the Vision 2009, I was there and he led us, and not only during the President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's National Conference of 2014, I was there. He led us like the Trojan that he truly was. My elder brothers, Obongata and Professor Jerry Ghana, and Don Etienne and Nyawodo, many of us here were there at that conference. And all the things we agreed on. After brainstorming for about 6 months, have we done anything about it? No. Martin Niemoller was a German cleric. He was detained about the last 7 months of the Second World War, which took place between 1939 and 1945. After the failure of the First World War, which was resolved at the Treaty of Versailles in 1919, where Germany was blamed for all the atrocities of the war, failure of the League of Nations before the end of the Second World War in 1945, after the destruction of the Japanese twin cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki by the first atomic bomb. Martin Niemoller said, first, they came for the socialists. I did not speak because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists. I did not speak because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak for me. So So if you decide not to be your brother's keeper, then very soon you may find yourself in a situation where you also do not have a keeper of a brother. A blow to one should be a blow to all. So we have all this political insecurity, where political power is now in the hands of a few Nigerians. It has been like that for quite some time. I call them state captors. State captors. They determine the fate of Nigeria like a yo-yo. So I discussed that the various insurgencies, the economic insecurity, and I've described all this in my neologism, which I coined Ozekhome, named or modeled after Wikipedia and Legapedia and all the other pedia. I call our system not a democracy, but electionocracy. Electionocracy. We don't have governance. What we have are elections. As they are over, then we're already thinking of the next election. I have coined selectocracy. I have coined out judocracy, where our presidents, governors, legislators are delivered midwifed in the hallowed chambers of the courts. I've coined executocracy, where the executive rises slipshod over all of us. I've called it legislatocracy, where the legislature is merely a rubber stamp, like Adam Adiza saying yes sir, yes sir. I've talked about capital flight. I'm not saying Nigeria is one of the worst countries in the world, no. But we have our challenges and we have to face up to them. We need to have what we call transformational leadership. Let us behave like the Asian tigers of South Korea, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore. What did they do? They built infrastructure, invested heavily on education and human development. They created export-oriented goods instead of just domestic goods. Government gave incentives. They built up skilled workers. They opened up free market. Then they went into innovation, technology. That's why we call them the Asian tigers. They were what and off in the 50s. But today, they're in the first world country. We are still in the third world country. Even India that gained independence in 1947, today they manufacture aircraft, except the turbine engine. So, in building the system, therefore, this collapsed educational system, collapsed health system, I've talked about the need for a brand new constitution. My solutions now, not just damage assessment as a roundup. We must promote transformational leadership, adopt technology in governance, implement structural and sectoral reforms, advance currency and market reforms, invest in human capital, encourage cultural and moral ethos. Not in Nigeria that we are seeing now, where people of questionable characters are given doctorate degrees, national honors. In the churches, they are made to sit in front row, at the front pews. At the mosque, they are made to sit at the mass, front mass. We need moral rearmament, moral reorientation. We need to strengthen anti-corruption measures, promote civic responsibility, support economic nationalism by producing for export, not just for imports or consumption. We need to disabuse our mind of that Professor Cloud Ake's theory that we are a disarticulate economy where we produce what we do not consume and consume what we do not produce. We need to reform the energy sector. Without it, we can't move anywhere. Small scale, the SMEs, small and medium scale, they need power. When you buy a generator and you buy fuel of 1,800 something naira or 1,600 something, how much will you gain when you put it in a small, I pass my neighbor generator? You will not even break even. And this is the NG room of development. We must ensure budget transparency and accountability. We should create a national employment guarantee scheme to help people, at least with temporary jobs, or give them incentives to live as human beings. We should institutionalize diaspora investment so that they can be encouraged to invest in local development and even vote during elections. We should allow them to come and vote. Why do we get billions from them every year without allowing them to have a voice in our country? My final takes us. When we do all this, and then we go to General Gowon to say, sir, use your platform. Pray Nigeria for God to bless us. And then by the grace of God, we will move forward as a country. God bless Nigeria. God bless all of you. Thank you all.